Mary Frances Scott-Siddons, frequently referred to as Mrs. Scott-Siddons, was a British actor and dramatic reader. Her paternal great-grandmother was Sarah Siddons. After a struggle, Scott-Siddons secured an engagement and made her professional debut at Nottingham, in 1866. As Portia in The Merchant of Venice. She was well received there and in Edinburgh, and in the following year, attained a great success as a Shakespearean reader in London, where in 1868 she played the part of Rosalind in As You Like It at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and afterward appeared as Juliet, drawing immense audiences. Her beauty and grace of person contributed more to her success than her histrionic talent, and though a spirited and thoroughly natural actress, she lacked the technical training and necessary vigor. In her readings, she was more successful. She played in New York City in 1868, and was not well received, nor were her subsequent appearances in London successful. In 1872, she starred in the United States and Australia with mediocre success. It was as a dramatic reader that Scott-Siddons achieved her greatest fame. Her work was characterized by vast intelligence and clearness of interpretation. Her utterance was rapid, and in a clear, musical voice of great flexibility of expression. In scenes, she made little attempt to differentiate characters by vocal changes, she gestured little. Early years and education. Mary Frances Siddons was born in Bengal, India in 1844. Her father was Captain William Young Siddons, of the 65th Bengal Light Infantry. Her mother, Susan Mary Earle, was a daughter of Colonel Earle, of the British Army. Her paternal great-grandmother was Sarah Siddons. Upon the death of her father, her mother returned to England with her children, settling in Somersetshire, from whence she proceeded to Germany, her two daughters being educated in Bonn. It was here that she made her stage debut in a German comedy, when she distinguished herself by her elocutionary ability. At the age of 11 years, she astonished her teachers and friends by her striking performance of a part in a French play, Esther. She became fascinated with the stage, and was constantly acting in French and German plays, playing the most difficult roles in the dramas of Schiller, Racine, Molière and Corneille. Her performance of the young Mortimer in Friedrich Schiller's Mary Stuart exhibited so much ability, as to induce one of the principals of her school to consult with Charles Keene as to the desirability of educating her for the stage. He, however, advised on account of her extreme youth that this be deferred for a few years. History and career. In 1862, at Hythe, Kent, at the age of 18, she married Thomas Scott Chanter, son of Thomas Barnard Chanter and Isabella Scott. Scott Chanter had entered the Royal Navy in 1852, served as assistant paymaster in 1856 and paymaster in 1864. At marriage, he took the surname of Scott-Siddons, owing to the objection of the groom's father to the use of the family name on the stage. In 1865, using the stage name Mary Frances Scott-Siddons, and against the wishes of her family, she joined the company of the Theatre Royal, Nottingham. She made her debut as Portia in The Merchant of Venice alongside Walter Montgomery as Shylock and Madge Robertson as Nerissa. In 1866, she appeared as Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, in Edinburgh, Scotland. Also in 1866, in Nottingham, England, she played the role of Lady Macbeth. This seems to have been an error in judgment, for her physique was not suited to the part, nor had she the necessary stage training for the performance of so difficult a role. In January 1867, she appeared at the Concert Room, Imperial Hotel, Cork, where she read selections from Shakespeare, Tennyson and Scott. On the 1st of April 1867, she made her first appearance in London in the Hanover Square Rooms, where she again read selections from Shakespeare and Tennyson. These proved so popular that she was early sought after by theatrical managers. On the 8th of April, she played Rosalind in As You Like It at the Theatre Royal Haymarket for the first of 8 nights. Critics praised her highly. Her later performances included Juliet, and as Catherine in The Taming of the Shrew. Her husband retired from the Royal Navy in 1868. He accompanied her when she made her American debut as a reader at Newport, Rhode Island, during the summer of 1868. She first appeared in New York City as a reader from Shakespeare on October 26, 1868, at Steinway Hall. Her first American appearance as an actress was at the Boston Museum, and her Metropolitan debut on the dramatic stage occurred November 30, 1868, at the New York Theatre, as Rosalind. Her theatrical debut in that city was made in the Fifth Avenue Theatre, where she played successfully in a long line of characters. But she was coldly received. During this engagement she appeared also in Romeo and Juliet, The Taming of the Shrew, and King René's Daughter. In the December Scott-Siddons continued an engagement at the New York Theatre in As You Like It, Romeo and Juliet, and The School for Scandal. On her return to England, her early appearances included one with Gentlemen Amateurs at the Theatre Royal, Exeter. Leaving Liverpool in September for America, she had an engagement at the Fifth Avenue Theatre in November 1869, including appearing as Beatrice in Much Ado, and As You Like It. In July 1870, she played Pauline in The Lady of Lyons at the Haymarket Theatre, following with other impersonations before travelling to America. In September, she starred in Tom Taylor's new drama, Twixt Axe and Crown, at the theatre attached to Wood's Museum, New York. On the 28th of October, Scott-Siddons appeared as Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, at the Music Hall, New Haven, Connecticut. In November 1871, at the opening of John and Michael Gunn's Gaiety Theatre, Dublin, she delivered the prologue by John Francis Wall. On the 4th of May 1872, at the Queen's Theatre in London was the occasion, in the first original piece in which she had ever acted, viz. Ordeal by Touch, she played the part of Coralie. The piece was not a satisfactory success. Following the last mentioned date, Scott-Siddons was engaged on a starring tour in the United States and Australia in 1872, but did not fare much better than on her first visit to the US. In July 1873, she gave a recital before Princess Louise, Duchess of Argyll, at Grosvenor House. In September 1873, her starring role in Romeo and Juliet was not as well received as her Rosalind in As You Like It, both performed at the Theatre Royal, Edinburgh. Scott-Siddons, accompanied by Sarah, the well-known pianist Harry Walker, arrived in New York in November 1873. Mrs. Scott-Siddons and her protégée, Sarah, performed at Fulton Hall, Lancaster City, Pennsylvania on Monday, December 7, 1874. She was followed by Sarah, a fair-haired, blue-eyed, sunny-faced Scotch boy, dressed in splendid crimson velvet suit. Scott-Siddons and her husband returned to Liverpool from a tour in the United States in April 1875. On the 21st of June 1879, she reappeared on the London stage at the Olympic Theatre for the benefit of George Colman and recited 2 lyrical pieces. In September 1881, she assumed in London the management of the Haymarket Theatre for a short season. The first production was Walter S. Raleigh's Queen and Cardinal. In the next production, King René's daughter, the character of Iolanthe, the blind girl, whose sight is restored during the action of the play, had been a favourite with Mrs. Scott-Siddons both in America and in this country. By December, she had taken the company to the Gaiety Theatre, putting on Romeo and Juliet, and As You Like It. Scott-Siddons gave a final recitation at St. George's Hall, Belfast, prior to leaving for America. On the 23rd of April 1888, she made her appearance as a reader at Steinway Hall, New York, accompanied by her adopted son, the child prodigy, Henry Waller, formerly known as Sarah. In 1889, she gave a recital in the Association Hall, Toronto. While Mrs. Scott-Siddons lived to act, her husband was devoted to alcohol. This caused their separation, and eventually his death in Australia, in 1903. After 1891, she lived in semi-retirement. A dramatic recital was given by Scott-Siddons before the Emperor and Empress at Berlin, including the sleepwalking scene from Macbeth, a sketch, Western Life in America, and other pieces. She died at Neuilly-sur-Seine, Paris, France, on November 19, 1896, and was buried at Brookwood Cemetery, in Brookwood, Surrey, England.